Shall we rise to welcome His Excellency, the Vice President?
The National Economic Council, established and backed by the Constitution, concerns itself with the economic affairs of the Federation and provides measures necessary for the coordination of economic efforts and programs. The NEC, led by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, this time is a special one with special attendance. Royal fathers, ministers, lawmakers, governors, development partners, notable Nigerians, and a special guest, Mr. Bill Gates.
At this stage, and the
expanded National Economic Council focuses on the important role of human capital development in addressing issues of poverty alleviation and inclusive growth.
Please let us welcome the Minister of Health, Professor Adewale.
The Minister of Health sets the ball rolling. With projected slides, he insists that Nigeria has made limited progress in healthcare over the years, with little or no goals delivered.
When we look at maternal mortality, under 5 mortality, level of malnutrition, immunization coverage, antenatal care attendance, level of HIV burden, level of TB, including the pick-up rate for tuberculosis, the statistics are not too pleasant. And one of the major reasons why the health sector has under-delivered has to do with the level of funding of the health sector. When compared to many other countries, we have persistently over the years underfunded the health sector. And because of this chronic underfunding, the health sector has underperformed. But what is really frightening about the health sector in Nigeria is the level of out-of-pocket expenditure. About 70% of Nigerians will have to pay out of pocket when they are ill. And this is the most challenging aspect of the Nigerian health sector. And this is actually what causes the second illness. Rather than move straight to the facility, people would rather wait, they pray and do many things, they fast, hoping that things will get better. But rather, things get worse. And it explains why, for many of the ailments, by the time Nigerians present at the formal health sector, the diseases are far gone. Over 80% of cancers in Nigeria come in with stages 3 and 4, simply because our people are unable to pay. And this is the real challenge. Government expenditure has been rather low. But we know that the health sector is very critical to the development of any nation. Most countries that have done well economically have had prior engagement and improvement in the health sector and the health indicators. And the slide in point indicated the progress and route for South Korea and Malaysia, and they both recorded significant improvement in almost all the health indicators before we experienced significant improvement in the economic indicators. This is also not really too far-fetched, simply because the health sector yields significant return on investment compared to virtually every other sector.
Nigeria faces deadly disease outbreaks year after year, with large number of deaths recorded due to inadequate diagnostic and major health equipment. Currently, the country is daily witnessing more deaths from the outbreak of Lassa fever in some states.
This is why the present administration is quite concerned about this and strongly believe that we need to turn things around. And we've taken quite a number of critical steps to change the narrative. The first thing we've done is to put in place a national health policy, the third in the history of this country. The first national health policy was in 1988. The second one was in 2004, and the current one came about in 2016. And the title of the national policy is to promote socio-economic development of Nigeria. So we are actually tying improvement in the health sector to improvement in the socio-economic situation of this country. We are also working to put in place the Nigerian Center for Disease Control to give us a legal bite to the issue of public health management in Nigeria. And most importantly, with piloting the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, which actually is a key component of the National Health passed in 2014. And a key component of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is the allocation of at least 1% of the consolidated revenue fund to basic care. And as stated in the Act, the minister is entitled to define what basic care package in Nigeria is. And we have taken the liberty to define basic care in Nigeria as include maternity care, delivery care, malaria care, immunization, contraception, management of HIV and tuberculosis.
Analysts' breakdown of the current health budget indicates that Nigeria will spend 1,688 naira on the health care of each citizen in the year, in the face of numerous health issues in the country. The Minister of Education takes the podium right after his colleague. There's no doubt education results to high level of literacy and social ability like the health sector.
Honorable ministers here present.
In the 2017 budget of 7.2 trillion naira, education gulped 540 billion naira. This is expected to cater for the 36 federal universities, 25 federal polytechnics, 22 federal colleges of education, and 104 federal unity schools. A look at the budget allocation for education from 2011 up to date clearly shows that Nigeria is yet to meet the requirement of UNICEF for a 26% allocation of a nation's entire budget to education.
From the 1990s, the real factor in determining economic prosperity is knowledge. We have the knowledge economy, and the country that succeeds is the country that develops it. We develop human capital by imparting skills to our population, by giving them education. This education can be given in formal school setting or informal. And here with us today we have somebody who has proved that you can contribute the best to human capital development outside the school. Mr. Bill Gates dropped out of school. But if there is one person in the world on whose shoulder the entirety of the knowledge economy depends, it is Bill Gates.